Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, we are live. My voice still a little rough tonight there, Robby. One of my most botched alrighties ever there, but fuck it, it's in the group, Robby. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it could
That's
be
the,
from that.
it's
Could
the
be from that
different
AEW, but we just want.
terrible AEW giving me a bad fucking effect here there, but here in the group there, you fuck up your intro, it's not a big deal. You know what I mean? It's more of a relaxed kind of vibe there. Hafiz Hussein in the chat. We are live. Yes. More of a relaxed vibe there, a relaxed atmosphere, which is why I was watching the show, Robby, today. It was like I half watched it kind of deal. You know what I mean? I
Yeah,
was
it was a hard watch. I'll give you. I watched it, but it was a hard watch.
We have Facebook user fuck Conrad Thompson there. He wrote. That's the guy who has like 35 podcasts with wrestlers or whatever. Now, WJ, how is your throat? I think it's too many cigarette fees. I'm gonna wake up tomorrow and smoke just pot. That's a new direction, Robbie. Just pot and nicotine gum. Maybe I even try to keep the tobacco out of it. Maybe that's how I can do it there. WJ, I have been watching Cobra Kai. I am hooked on that show. I have to watch. I think I watched season 1 and 2 or something, and a couple of season 3, and didn't watch anymore. There, I kind of binged watched it when we were talking about this in the group last time, and then I completely forgot that it existed. There, fees, but Vincent Bell Mendez, the goof, has arrived. Is that the goof that says just Facebook user? I'll check out the fucking comments later on there. But basically, folks, it's the Cedric and Robby show there. It's it's called episode 1. Technically, in the past, we did another show, Robby, and an older group or something there.
Yeah.
That was what they call the pilot episode, Robby, on another network or whatever. But we're officially signed here in the Wrestling Gods there for a brand new season of the Cedric and Robby show there. Howdy, WJ, says Facebook user. Howdy, good sir there. Can't see your name for now. I'm going to check that out later, Robby. So basically, today, we're going to be doing a little review of AEW Dynamite there. Like I said, I watched about half of it or whatever. I had it on and was doing stuff in the background. Um, we'll get to that in a minute there. But Robby, you watched most of the show there.
Yeah, most of it I watched. Most of it, a good bit of it.
Feeling a little queasy. So basically, folks, some weeks we might talk wrestling, other weeks we might talk about something else. We might have some variety nights when people come in and talk about whatever, you know what I mean? Anything can happen there on the Cedric and Robby show there. So far, I've just been rambling for about 4 minutes there. Let's get into the show there, shall we, ladies and gentlemen? Um, so it started off with Christian and Helico, I believe, Robbie.
Yeah, it was okay, I guess, for a match. I don't know why it. I don't know what they're doing with Christian Gage. I was hoping that he would get pushed to wrestle Kenny Omega, but I don't know.
Basically, why they had teased that and it never took place for whatever reason there, but basically it was like Christian and the Cody Rhodes role there, trying to put over young talent match there. So it's Christian against Angelico and in a competitive match, pretty much there. So and like it's like a competitive match where they try to have a good match kind of deal, right?
Yeah.
They try to have a good match, and then it basically it's like a 20-minute snooze fest between Christian and a jobber, right? The match isn't horrible, but why should I care about Angelico? Like this guy is in the tag team against that blonde midget guy there. Oh, they're called hybrid too, because it's a hybrid of styles or whatever. And basically, he's never on television. But when he was on television, he had like an outfit like that Mexican wrestler with the skeleton suit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So basically, the outfit is a ripoff of somebody better or whatever. And it's like green instead. So basically, why is he dressed up with this retarded outfit? Because he's skinny as fuck. You know what I mean? It is what it is, right? You see this guy, he's looks like a big tall broomstick, literally. They're not that much bigger. Like,
Yeah, I mean, yeah, these guys, they don't have much of a physique on them. They're just skinny dudes. Just like
and
long hair, skinny guys, basically.
and then we don't see this guy on television for a year. Then he comes back and they try to like present him like he's something, he's a South African submission specialist. Did you hear that? Like,
Yeah.
then he's in the ring and he's wrestling like a luchador. What the fuck? What is he exactly? He's just a fucking jobber. You know what I mean? So when it's Christian against this random jobber for fucking 25 minutes and it doesn't end, and it's pointless because it's just a skinny jobber, an obvious one. Yeah, and so like how can I care? Why would I care? Even if the match is okay, it's like who gives a shit? Like, and at this point, it's like too obvious that they always try to do these competitive match to try to get the guy over, you know? Like back in the day, people got over organically, right? You didn't just have a 20-minute match with Cody Rhodes and then, oh, this guy's over. You know what I mean? Like, so it just comes off forced when they do this, like 2 times per show there, or at once per show, the competitive jobber match. You know what I mean? And it's like, who gives a fuck? So when I saw this, I was bored from the get go, Robby.
And they don't do hardly any squash matches. They every now and then there is one squash match on this whole show.
Well, this is the first time I think they have a jobber on the show, like for a squash match. You see?
Yeah.
Usually they have even the complete ham and egger jobbers that come in for a squash. It ends up being a 15-minute match, right? They have
that's
female jobber, a couple. But yeah, normally this is like the first time in 2 years they have a guy that's there to be a jobber. I think Jim Cornette was saying they should do that. Let's say they probably got the idea from him, you know?
Yeah, they need to do more of those matches because every match can't go 15 to 20. I mean, these guys aren't even in the league to do it. Like, they're trying to make every match last like 15 or 10 minutes. That's just not realistic. You know, you save matches like that for the upper part of the card or like the main event, especially on a TV show.
15 minutes, huh?
No, it's just, I don't. Yeah, you want to keep that for the big matches. And what about this?
Next after this,
had this segment with Cody Rhodes coming out with Arn Anderson and his son Brock Anderson.
that when when they made the announcement, Tony Schiavone, he's like Brock and Hershey thought they were gonna say Brock Lesnar, say Brock, and then it's Anderson or whatever, and the way they announce him like he's a big star or something. And it's like a complete unknown guy, and he comes out and he looks like Arn Anderson, the haircut, the beard. I just thought it looked fucking bizarre. I'm sorry. Maybe the kid will be good. I don't know. Is it really his son or just more Anderson bullshit that they just take the name? Like Arn Anderson wasn't a real brother of the other guy, right? So you're certain this is really his son for real there? Yeah.
Think so. I'll have to research it, but I think that's his legit son. I'll have to research it to make sure. But he looked like him in the face. If you look in the face,
it looked bizarre. Some young, average-looking guy with the hair and face like Arn Anderson. It's just weird to me there. But
yeah.
But
the only good part about this is him giving QT Marshall a bloody nose, which I thoroughly enjoyed because I can't stand that idiot. Did you see that? He busted his nose open.
He was jumping on somebody and punching.
Yeah, that was about the best part of it, because he went. Who was it that swung at Arn Anderson? QT Marshall hit Arn Anderson, and then Brock started punching the crap out of him, busted his nose open. And I enjoyed that because I can't stand QT Marshall. He's a jobber. He's not nothing. I don't know why they're building this up, but this is going to be a South. What was it? A South Beach match?
Beach match. I think so. Then Cody's like, let's have a strap match right now.
Yeah, let's go ahead and do it now. And they started taking off, and that's when he hit Arn Anderson with the belt, QT Marshall, and then Brock jumped in and started beating the crap out of QT Marshall. And I want to see what the kid's got. Maybe he might be okay. We'll find out. I think it's next week that they have the tag team match, so we'll find out if he's okay for a rookie. He's going to be green, obviously. We'll see what he's doing. Hopefully, he's not as bad as David Flair. David Flair was pretty.
David Flair was the worst of the children wrestlers.
Yeah, he was rough.
QT said something, your second generation nepotism or whatever. So this weirdo stuff about being second generation. My dad was a star and I'm a schmuck. Kind of. What did we have next there, Robby?
I think the tag team match that came in between the Young Bucks and was it the Young Bucks next versus Pac and the masked dude? I forget his name.
We got a couple of comments here. Mark Hellner Harms. All righty. Facebook user, ladies and gents. There. Basically, the Young Bucks match started. They did the goofy entrance with the goofy dancing.
That's stupid. Doing a stupid dance and just horrible.
I went to the washroom during this match. I could have paused it, but I chose not to, Robby. If I could just let it play. The least I have to watch.
What they got? And this Brandon Cutter guy, what the hell they got on his face? He's got like a camera and a fucking, I don't know what they got going on with him. They just throw him in the ring to get beat up, basically. The match starts up, they just throw him in the ring. It's like, they're just letting him take a beating, basically.
With his track suit.
Yeah, it looks like a goofball, man.
They tried to present him as a serious wrestler, but see, the people online are laughing at him. He's just one of the Young Bucks friends. So now they're calling him a lackey pretty much there.
Yeah.
They just go along with whatever the internet says, damn, so they're just, well, that's pretty much what he is too. So they just call him like a lackey jobber kind of guy that he cleans their car kind of gimmick there. And
Yeah,
that's pretty much going to permanently scar him from ever being taken seriously later on.
he's worthless anyways. He's the guy ain't never gonna reach mid card status if he's lucky. He can't. He don't talk. He isn't that great of a wrestler. So I mean, that's probably the best thing they could do for him. Give him something to do.
That's why people call it all friends wrestling, because it's a bunch
Yeah,
of friends that aren't that shouldn't be on TV, right?
exactly. But hey, like half the wrestlers are in presidential positions in the damn company. That's the problem. Yeah, I mean, they're gonna book themselves to look good. It's like that's why Kenny Omega is a champion and Young Bucks are the tag team champions. You
And the
know,
Young Bucks got beat.
yeah, they ended up losing the match. Well, that was the best part of it. Eddie Kingston was in it.
How
Yeah,
come
just
Eddie King? Last week Eddie Kingston he talks to them backstage. Enemy of my enemies, my friend. Pac just walks away. They want nothing to
yeah,
do with him, and now this week they're together in the tag team match. Like,
yeah. They
didn't he
had
say?
spots. They had like different spots in the match where he went to tag in Pac and Pac wouldn't take the tag, or he wouldn't tag in Eddie Kingston. Then finally he tagged him in. Yeah, goofy stuff, just I don't know. I
Kingston
don't
and
see why.
Ambrose was a better dynamic between
Yeah,
them,
I think Dean Ambrose got injured. Apparently, is what I was told. Or
maybe
he's
his kid or something. Then I don't know, but like I don't get how Eddie Kingston fits in with Pac and the other guy. Like,
they threw that together last minute. Probably something they just threw out there to see what would happen. They got. I don't. I mean, a lot of this stuff it just seems like they just throw out there, just put random matches. There's
mm.
no build up to anything. It's just let's put this guy versus this guy. It's sporadic.
So I didn't even bother taking notes this time there, so
I
I
didn't. I
don't
just.
remember the exact fucking
I,
sequence of what happened there.
you don't really. I mean, this kind of wrestling. I mean, you don't really need to analyze it. You could kind of just look at it, and if there's anything good about it, you can point out the good. And it isn't like the old school wrestling
So
where
there was
you
what? Why go ahead?
you
Whatever.
just
Yeah.
I forget the next match. I'm trying to think who wrestled next. I don't know if it was that.
Whatever I did watch, I found it fucking boring. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
There
it's
was
hard to.
Grandpa Sting and what's his name there? The little goof there. The little
Oh,
twink with makeup, this Sting and this little
oh,
boy, Darby
Darby Allin.
Allen there.
Yeah. No,
Because
dude, man, I don't want you to come out this time. I don't
say,
come,
oh,
please.
that was cringy. That
Oh, I'm
fucking
not gonna
cringy as
Sting.
fuck.
And the thing that's sad about it is Sting can still talk. When Sting talks, you feel something behind it. When this other guy talks, it's like cringy. It's so messed up. Like you can tell Sting's just there. He's just there, but he still sounds good. He still can talk with emotion. And these guys, they just, I don't know. It's just bland. It's like a big mismatch in talent. I know he's trying to help the guy, but Lord, I think Sting would have been better staying with the WWE on the Legends contract. To be honest, or really, I mean,
Eva
that's
Garza, AEW is on autopilot. AEW is on autopilot like Raw. They are recycling the scripts pretty much. Fuck. It's
it's
fucking
horrible.
bad. I'm neck, it's bad. they also like and the thing about Sting and Darby, it's because people criticize online, right? Darby's just Sting's little bitch. He's Sting's son. Stuff like this. They say they're not reactionary. Well, that's why they're doing this, obviously. Stay home. I don't need you. It's like fucking cringe city, big time, you know? But
Yeah.
speaking of recycling, like Eva said, they recycled more backstage material of the Attitude Era. Their Facebook user, AEW sucks. Yes. Yes, I fucking watched this shit. I'm fucking half dead. I don't know if it's because I watched the show or smoking too much pot or whatever. It's some strong
It's like
pot there,
it's
but
like watching Raw. It drains the energy out of you. You
fuck,
know,
I
it's
ate a
like,
whole bunch of chicken too. A big fucking, it's like a big Kentucky bucket. They're fucking full of fucking chicken. I ate a whole bunch of that. Then I watched this shit and I smoke a joint, sacrament. I feel like I'm about to pass out for real. Fuck, but you know, this show just fucking drained me there. All Elite Wambulance. Eva, I agree with Robby. Sting should have stayed with WWE under a Legends contract, maybe.
oh God, yes. I mean, but
When he
he's not
came
doing
out,
nothing.
he was presented like a star. You know what I mean? He didn't do as much, but he was presented like a star. This bringing him out every week to be the sidekick of a little fucking little weasel with a corny fucking goth gimmick of some sort. Fucking twink gothic boy with fucking Sting wannabe. Tell him how this sucks, Robbie, while I go have half a cigarette.
Yeah, just he would have been better off staying in the WWE and doing less appearances and make them special appearances instead of wasting his time trying to get over talent that just isn't going to get over for the most part. I mean, yeah, Darby Allin's okay. I'm not going to totally. I think I like him a little, but I mean, he's
He's
not a
okay, but I just can't get behind this guy. I don't feel this guy like
he's not going to
MJF. I
do.
think he's good talker. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
But
he's not going to do.
my brain doesn't want to accept Darby Allin. His name is fucking lame as fuck. Darby, like get the fuck out there. You know what I mean? I just
Yeah.
can't stand them, Robbie. Some people you can't stand or like and under any circumstance. He's
Oh,
one of
that's like
them.
me. That's like me with the Young Bucks. I hate the Young Bucks. I can't stand them. I don't care.
So
People can tell me, oh, they're so good of a tag team. They're like the new Rockers. I just can't. I hate them. Doesn't matter what they do. They could have a 5-star match, and I'm still going to shit on it. I just don't like. You know, they're too
they
goofy.
claim he's over, but he's over with their fans. You know, you
Yeah.
tell these guys like in AEW, they could take Angelico. See, if Angelico would have beat Christian, and then next week he has another competitive match and he beats Cody Rhodes. These guys are going to write all over the place that Angelico is a big star and he's over. And, you know, they just go along with what the company wants. Like when WWE does something, they do everything to sabotage it. Here it's the opposite. Do everything to help out whatever fucking narrative the company wants to present, let's say. So, like these fans, it's just, yeah, Darby's over. He's over. But why? Because he had a competitive match with Cody Rhodes. Like, he's a little fucking twig, you know? I mean, I can't get behind him. I don't see what's so over about this guy. He's fucking cringy big time with a skateboard. Like, skateboard is dead the past 20 years. It's making a little comeback there, but like,
He's for the edge board. Like Will.
Like Will.
What kind of wrestler he like?
Well, that's more of the Cedric and Robby show. They're taking pot shots at people. A second. We had before what happened. We had
Let's see, what was next after that?
before we had the Pinnacle and Inner Circle little boring promo from Pinnacle there. Just a stiff, lifeless promo, and then what happened? We have some backstage Attitude Era ripoff segment, pretty much there.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, they did like a backhoe attacking the limousine or whatever there. Facebook user Cody Rhodes is just a male Barbie doll that can't bring the ones because of his ass. Garza. I like Angelico. He could be something big, but he isn't what AEW wants in athletes. He is a big dude. He's skinny, is a little bit there, but to each their own. If you like him, that's okay. You know, he's not a bad wrestler. But like, why would I suddenly take this guy like he's a serious threat to Christian? You know,
Eva might like the way he looks, maybe.
possibly. Maybe she likes the way he wrestles. I don't know. It's all subjective, right? But me personally, I don't see anything in that guy there. But so they did like pretty much. Didn't they do stuff like this in WWE? Like a backhoe lifts up a car and
Yeah,
the car
that's
falls
all
off.
Attitude Era. It's all Attitude Era. They just relive an Attitude Era.
So they just recycle WWE material constantly. Like,
it's for the fans that always want Attitude Era to come back. The problem is, even if it came back now, it's been done. So it wouldn't be special. It would just be, well, you know, it would almost feel like they're trying to copy. You know what I'm saying? It didn't seem when that shit happened. That was the first time stuff like that happened in wrestling. So it was special at that time. Now, if they try to redo it, it just seems like posers. I hate to say it that way, but that's what it comes off as. I understand why they're doing it. They're doing it to try to get the nostalgic feeling, but it just comes off as a bunch of rookies doing it. And I don't know. To me, that's what it comes off as. It doesn't feel original. It just feels like they copied. You know, I understand why they're doing it. I understand that the thought process is well-meaning, but when it comes out, it just seems cheap, like you say, cheap. It doesn't seem
so
good.
like the people that want Attitude Era, they want they want real Attitude Era with real wrestler, not Hammernager ripoff. You know.
Yeah. Yeah. It just doesn't seem. I mean, they want to try to do wrestling the way it used to be done in the 90s. Then Leo say go back to Attitude.
Eva Garza, you were right about that. You can tell Angelico isn't beating Christian. So you know what, Eva? We're both right. Second of all, we're both right. Me and you a second of all. But what were you saying, Robby? I'm taking a sip of coffee to stay awake here.
Oh, I'm just emphasizing the point that AEW means well when some of the stuff it does. I do think they mean well, but when it comes out into practice and reality, it just comes off as cheap. Like they're trying to steal something instead of doing something original. It's like they're just trying to do things that they think will please people that miss the old days.
And it's obvious. It's lame and obvious when they do it.
It'll be like me and you doing our e-feds. It's very similar. You know, we do our e-feds. We do it for fun. We know that we're not trying to grow a big, $1 million company. That's what it feels like to me. They're like an e-fed to me.
So they kind of feel like they're booked like an E-Fed, very
Yeah,
simple booking. Oh, somebody attacked him, and the next week it's the match right away there. And you can see some of this booking, folks. In World Wrestling Spaghetti E-Fed, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to be doing episode 2 there. It's like comical storytelling based on wrestling is the best way to describe it, Robbie.
and
There's going to be.
my thing with the inner circle is why does every one of them shoot a bird all the time? That's so stupid. They're shooting a bird. Like, that's something you do when you're in high school, or something like kids do to try to look edgy. Like,
Internet tough guy on
yeah,
Facebook.
like somebody. It reminds me of Will. I'm sorry, I know I keep saying Will, but I can't help it. It reminds me of somebody like that that's always trying to look bad and trying to intimidate somebody. It's like, go shoot a bird at the camera and stick my tongue out. Like, what the? I mean, that's something you'd think a kid would do, or a teenager, or somebody in high school, maybe even college, but not somebody that's a grown ass man. I mean, I don't know. I just think it's cringy. It's like edgelordy. It's like, dude, I would be cool, badass.
So
Yeah,
I have no
Stone Cold
interest.
Steve Austin, he did it. He got away with it because his character was a man. He acted like a man. Yeah, he shot a bird, but it wasn't goofy acting. It was, you could tell he was a legit badass.
So these guys, they're not legit. None of them feel legit. Fuck.
It's like little hot little punks. That's what it feels like.
Mm. Facebook
Sammy
user.
Guevara.
I heard they got 462,000 viewers. That's a record low for them. Yes, their record low rating should come out in a few days. We'll see what they got. Probably
For
this
one,
time.
I'm not taking up for them, but that's a shitty ass time slot that they're on. Friday night at like 10 o'clock. Who the fuck's gonna want to watch that late? Unless you just happen to be bored as hell and you just happen to be flicking the channels at that time of night on Friday. Most people are going to be out doing something or sleeping if they're working. They're not going to want to watch that. I don't know why they put them. I guess because the playoffs. They're going to do a Saturday night show in 2 weeks with Jungle Boy. We can talk about that later because that's a segment.
Talk about that. Yeah. Eva
Yeah,
Garza, you got Roman murdering Dominic on SmackDown. Then you got AEW, Cody cutting promos about him like always. Facebook user Broomstick Man on AEW there.
he's
I
right.
watched SmackDown from 8 to 10 and I went to bed at 10. I wasn't going to stay up till 12 to watch AEW.
They're not right. I mean, who's going to stay up that late when they know the show's going to be shitty? There's maybe going to be a few segments that are okay to watch, but most of the shows usually, it's like Raw. It's no different than Raw. They try to say, "Oh, we're so much better. This is the better option to watch." When you watch it, it's like this isn't very much different than Raw. It's very similar. You got 1 or 2 good segments, and the rest of it, you're like falling asleep.
It just feels less edge, a little bit more edgier.
Yeah, because they get cuts.
What you get in Edge, you lose, like in terms of professional and quality wrestler. Right. Like Raw, it sucks these wrestlers because a lot of them are good wrestlers, but they're stuck in goofy segments and matches. If the Raw wrestlers were given the chance to have 15-minute matches, they could put on a good show because a lot of them are the top wrestlers in the world. But in AEW, they get all the freedom for matches, but the problem is it's a bunch of ham and egger trash wrestler that fucking wrestle boring trash matches, But, so pick your poison,
It's just like you say, they're trying to be edgy. You got, and I like. Don't get me wrong, I like I like what's the Matt's what's his name? I like him. MJF.
MJF,
I like him, but it's
he's
like
not an intimidating guy. It's hard to
yeah,
take him as intimidating guy, but because he's a good talker,
it
it
passes. Yeah,
works.
it's
Let's say.
okay. It's
Like I
entertaining. I
wouldn't
mean,
take him serious as world champ, but
no,
say
no.
if he's got the promo to back it up, like he could be a TNA champion, let's say there
Yeah,
at
that
that
is.
level. No, I couldn't see him as WWE champ unless he
It's
would
proof.
take a lot of steroid or something.
See,
He doesn't have.
AEW is AEW is proof that being edgy isn't always better. It just because
Exactly.
you can use several 4-letter words in a promo, that doesn't mean it's going to come off as entertaining or the product overall is going to be entertaining. You got to have a proper mix of it, and that's the thing. They want to always be edgelordy or to satisfy edgelords. That don't, like I say, that they don't. It comes across as a counterfeit to me.
Well,
It's cheap.
speaking of counterfeit, Kenny Omega when he comes out or whatever, he cuts his promo about he's talking about Jungle Boy, I guess there,
Oh yeah,
and then he's like, "I'm not really good at these things, Don. Here you go." So basically, he mocks that people say he can't cut good promo, but really, it's the truth. You know what I
it
mean?
is. It's horrible.
So they're being reactionary with this, with a line like this. And then when he's talking to Jungle Boy, like the way that they set it up is so stupid. Like, oh, Jungle Boy, blah, blah, blah. I'm not good at these things, Don. Why don't you talk? And then he's like, well, Jungle Boy doesn't have the guts. And then he comes out there or whatever, Jim Ross. Oh, he sure does have the guts. You spoke too soon, Don. It's just so corny the way it's presented. It's
Yeah,
almost like book like an e-fed, very simple
I
and fucking stupid. Let's say.
fucking hate when they play his music and the fans start fucking. I hate
Uh,
that shit. They look like a bunch of virgins out in the audience. The guy, fucking embarrassment for man. Like these dudes, I don't got nothing against. I don't usually make fun of dudes like that, but some of these guys that are, God Almighty, you could tell they're just fucked in the head.
it's so fucking corny, Kenny
See,
Omega.
I want to go. I want to go to an AEW show. They're supposed to be coming to Charlotte next month. I'm contemplating going just to see what it feels like to go to a live show. But I don't want to be sitting beside somebody going, because I'm gonna be like, shut the fuck up. I might, like, God, it's just
when
so.
when Kenny puts the microphone to him, he's like, "What are you gonna do? Are you gonna say? Are you gonna attack me? Are we gonna do this?" Like he names a bunch of scenarios that would normally happen in wrestling. Are you gonna say go over right now? Are you gonna cut the biggest promo of all time right now? You know what I mean? Basically, it's just making a mockery of wrestling. You know what I mean? It's
Yeah,
like he's not serious about wrestling. Why would you do this stuff? Like talk like that, Like it don't come off as organic, then it just comes off as goofy. Like say you're not a big star like Kenny, I'll give you 5 seconds to talk. You don't usually cut promos. What are you gonna do? You gonna attack me? You gonna do this? You gonna do this thing? This cliche thing? That so the whole seriousness of it
there we go.
just goes.
His,
It goes down
and
the toilet.
his response, you talk too much, Kenny. You
That was
talk too much.
cringy, man. I like
Yeah.
Jungle Boy. It's a shame that's a line that they told him to say. you talk
Yeah.
too much because it's like an internet meme, you know. But it's true the kid can't talk, I guess. I don't know. Which is why they had no faith in him cutting a promo, I guess.
Yeah,
Is that why they don't let him talk? He's no
think
good on
so.
the mic. So
He's
they
just a
don't let
baby
him talk.
face.
Why? They feed him this goofy line that doesn't really say there was no impact, and it's like fucking cliche, cringy kind of deal. But that's because they booked that fucking shit for him, you know.
Yep.
I wish Jungle Boy could be on NXT, you know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
So he could be used well and stuff there. But I don't know. They
Yeah,
are the definition of the Dunning-Kruger effect. I don't know who Dunning-Kruger is there. But maybe that means it's so bad it's good kind of deal, some kind of effect like
I have to
that.
look that up. I'm not sure what that means. I have to look in Dunning-Kruger effect. Maybe they
Kenny,
could explain.
Kenny, and Callis. Sometimes they have like a god, what I call the Godzilla effect. That it's so bad it makes me laugh. Let's say,
Yeah, I
like
like
sometimes
Callis.
I
That's the
like
only thing that.
Callis. So
Yeah.
Callis is good. He's the one who does the show for Kenny, and now
Yep.
he's doing the show for the Young Bucks. So some of it makes me laugh, the stuff, but we're supposed to watch this like the AEW fans and be like, "Oh my god, you're such an amazing godlike wrestler." You know, you're putting on such a good match. Me, I don't view it like that, but I view them as a little funny Callis and Omega because he's so fucking goofy that sometimes it makes me laugh a little bit. It's so cheap the way
Yeah.
they do things when he comes in with the low budget interference and stuff. It's just so cringy and bad looking and cheap that I laugh from it, you know. I don't know if that's the reaction they're going for there,
Yeah,
but
because it's you. I think that's what it is. I think they're doing it on purpose because they always say they're killing the business. Well, to hardcore wrestling fans, they're exactly killing the business. It's like anybody that's an old school wrestling fan like myself. When we see this, it's like the fuck, Yeah, I think it's a gimmick, but
so
because
when they call us casual or hardcore, me, I would be if I watch wrestling Sacrament all the time and I review wrestling. I have to be labeled as a hardcore fan. I'm not like a fucking casual that watches
yeah,
once in a while. I just don't watch indie wrestling. I watch AEW, WWE, TNA sometime, but that's it. I don't think you have to watch every indie fed to be classified as a heavy enough fan. You know what I mean?
no, no. I mean, there's also a thing of watching stuff that has quality to it. And like it or not, as far as production goes, WWE has that down path. Their production is the best out of any wrestling company. They have the money to do it. AEW, it's okay. Their production's okay, but it's nothing compared to WWE's. I mean, that's where the professionalism comes. If we were back in the 1990s, like if we were like in the early 90s and I was this age, man, I'd be obsessed with wrestling because it was different. It was the psychology and everything was different. But now, I mean, I would be a hardcore wrestling fan if wrestling was still that way. But today's wrestling, I'd usually just watch it to do videos on it. Um, you know, it's,
Facebook user, they think they're better than they really are. I guess that's the Dunning Kruger effect.
oh,
So
okay.
there's that for sure with them there. Eva Garza, AEW has some athletes that could make money if taught how to wrestle properly. And then she said, "We are proper fans." Like
Yeah.
they try to make it be like, oh, you're a casual that only watch WWE. You're not a real
Or
fan. You're not
or
a
it's
real
when
hardcore fan like us, you know. But
or
fuck
if you criticize TNA or Impact Wrestling, if you criticize Impact or AEW, these wrestlers, some of the wrestlers actually will say this. They'll call you a WWE stain.
a
Oh, you're a
stan,
W, yeah, stain or stain or whatever the fuck that word is.
a
I heard,
stan, which is it's a reference to the Eminem song "Stan," like you're like a big obsessive fan or whatever. There,
it's a WWE stain. STAIN is what they spell it.
STAN, Stan.
You
But
sure
maybe
that's what? Because I'm thinking
unless and
stain.
maybe a few people are writing it as stain just to be
That
different there. But
what's that girl's name that wrestled in Impact Wrestling? The Asian woman.
Gail Kim,
Yeah, she was saying she got really mad because somebody was criticizing Impact Wrestling. I saw it on Twitter, and she's like, "Oh, this is a typical WWE," and she said that word.
stain. So
Yeah,
either she miswrote WWE Stan, or maybe they're taking that and doing a spin-off of it and calling it Stain. Yeah.
yeah.
Basically,
I don't.
if we criticize them, we're heavy fanboy of the other company and we're biased or whatever. If we were
Yeah.
like that, then we wouldn't criticize the WWE, which most of us do. If anybody is a stan or an obsessive freak, it's them. Like,
Oh
just
yeah.
for example, a few days ago, somebody joined the group or something there, and he left a comment. He wrote a post. Oh, you guys are bashing WW or
Oh
AEW. Looks like
yeah,
you
yeah,
guys
yeah,
have Vince's balls in your mouth,
yeah.
and then he
That was
leaves the
funny.
group. Like,
I saw that. I laughed. That was funny as hell.
like this group is open to anyone. You want to fucking talk about AEW in a
yeah,
positive
watch.
light, you go ahead,
Tell him to
right?
read the goof. The goof. He likes AEW. We
If
when we
the
don't,
if
you
the
know, we
goof
let him do
likes
his
it,
thing.
anyway, anybody that likes AEW can write positive,
Yeah,
but other people that don't aren't gonna write positive, like me. You know what I mean? So see,
yeah.
I'm more negative about it, but it's a shame that you know these people, you can see right there that they can't tolerate any fucking criticism, like for a company.
It's just like,
And if that's the case, why he don't just leave the group, right? But he has to fucking fight back for the honor of his company there. Oh, you guys like McMahon balls? And he goes, really? It's like he's in a fucking, he's full of tears, and he writes a cheap attempt at an edgy comment on the way out. Like, the fuck's wrong with these people? Like, they're too fucking too sensitive for the company. Like, is it your company personally? You want to have sex with these men or what? Like, a lot of them, that's what it is. Yeah. So, but that's neither here nor there. Yeah, but I don't know why they have to be so fucking obsessed at that level that it's like a cult effect, that they can't fucking handle any kind of fucking criticism. Is it possible that AEW is TNA 2.0? Yes. I say they're even worse than that. AEW is just TNA trying to masquerade as WCW. Yes. Yes. Is Robby gone there? We'll see what's going to happen if Robby's going to come back. I am backstage. I'm not seeing you backstage, Robby. Try to go out and come back in there. Um, so basically, it's just another fucking boring show there. Like, I don't know if there's anything else that happened that's worth mentioning there, but just a fucking boring show overall, fact, big time. Doesn't look like Robby's coming back in there, but we're pretty much done anyway, I believe, there. Unless he comes back for the next minute or so there. I'm just going to sit here and wait. Do. Nobody writing anything in the chat. I got nothing left to talk about. Robby's missing. That's pretty much us, I believe, folks. That's pretty much it there. So stay tuned for possibly a weekly episode of the Cedric and Robby show. There he is. He's back.
Sorry about that. My
He's
phone
back
went
there,
dead.
folks.
My phone went dead, so I was in the middle of rant and it cut off. I'm like, damn it. But yeah, man, it's just, I don't know, man. It, like I was saying, what was I saying before I cut off, WJ?
I don't remember. I was telling them we're gonna do like a weekly episode of the Cedric and Robby show. Sometimes we talk wrestling, sometimes we might talk different topics. Sometimes we might bring people in there. We'll see what can happen with this, some variety nights or whatever. What do you think the rating is going to be this week, says Eva?
Probably low. Probably lower than they were last, are very similar to what they were.
I'm going to say around 600, yeah, because are they really going to let their fans, are they going to let their Fed die in an embarrassment 3 weeks in a row? Yeah. Is this the time that they come back to save their Fed? So I'm hoping they're going to get, well, hoping, I don't care for them, but I mean, I'm guessing, let's say 550,000 kind of deal.
Shittiest time
circumstance.
Now they might do okay that Saturday. They're gonna do in 2 weeks. They're gonna do a Dynamite on Saturday at 8 o'clock. That show may actually get okay ratings because that's a decent time slot. But doing it Friday late night, that's just a shitty time slot. You need to do prime time. That's why they're losing. And that's a lot of the reason why they're losing their ratings. They're not getting our general people that are watching because most of those people are probably working, and they're not, and like I say, they're not going to stay up that late to watch. Or, I know I'm not. I mean, I'm going to watch it the next day on YouTube. I'm not going to watch it. I may not even watch it on YouTube if it's so. There's certain AEW shows that I've turned it off after the second match. I'm like, fuck, I can't watch this.
That's the beauty of the group. It's not like a YouTube channel that I'm expected to do a 20-minute rant about it. If I watch 2 segments, I'll make a 2-minute vid about 2 segments. If I don't make a vid, I don't make a vid. It is what it is. It's
I tell you, they've dropped the ball in the Scorpio Sky. He is a horrible heel. He is not a good heel. That guy's a babyface. I don't know what. They need to go ahead and get this little Darby Allin shit over with what's it? Scorpio Sky and Ethan Page are going to wrestle him in I guess a handicap match or something like that. Or it's horrible. Did you see that?
2-on-1. He said don't, and it's going to be 2-on-1. Yeah.
He's going to get his ass kicked. If it was a real match, he would get beat. I mean, there's no way he could beat them two. That's so unrealistic. I mean, it's like, what's he going to overcome the odds? Because, if he's going to hit off a skateboard, how's he going to win?
You don't think he can win with his big edgy finishing coffin drop maneuver, Robby? where he
No.
just places himself like a dead guy to get some gothic points with, with whoever he's trying to impress with that there. This will impress the gothic guys from the E-Feds. It's almost like E-Fed gimmick.
Yeah,
Speaking
that's
of
what it is.
E-Feds there, speaking of E-Feds, folks, you get live comical storytelling shows there. Those are edgy shows, Robbie. Tell them that. Over in World Wrestling Spaghetti, E-Fed group there, you get, what do you get in there? Promos from people in the group. You get parodies of other people there. Might parody a couple people or two there. There's all kind of action in World Wrestling Spaghetti E-Fed, ladies and gentlemen. Check that out there. Robby's going to be competing for Continental Championship tomorrow night.
Yeah.
I feel all set up there, Robbie. There's the group here for some of that wrestling talk, the E-Fed group. I got my fucking Facebook profile. That's if I ever buy a hamster, I take a picture of the hamster, put it on the profile, pretty much. I'm all set up there, Robbie. So in this wrestling group, we're gonna have some live shows there. The Cedric and Robby show. We're gonna have Wrestling Gods episode 2 coming up there. I'm gonna be uploading just like live shows by myself sometime if I'm alone, nobody's around kind of deal. I'm gonna upload some videos there, just straight fucking single videos, stuff like this once in a while, like probably do one for the rating there. And you have all kind of other action in this group there. You got Robby Battle. He's always doing all kind of stuff there, this Robby. You got Jordan. You got Jerry. You got the Goof. You got a Fuse making videos there. You got people with some good posts there. There was a post yesterday about dream matches, which was a hit in the group yesterday there. I think Charles posted that one. If it wasn't him, my apologies there. But it's a good post, Robbie. Just some honest wrestling talk there. Some fun wrestling talk in the group there.
Yeah.
Tell your aunts, tell your uncle, tell your pet frog. Just tell them all to join the group if you want. It's up to you. Oh. I'll be back in 2 seconds. You got anything else you want to tell these people, Robbie?
Yeah. Just like I say, it's just hard to watch show. The women's match, we didn't talk about that. Did you? There's a few matches I don't think we talked about, but we can talk about that Nyla Rose match.
You know what, Robbie? If we got a job to do, we got a job to do. Let's finish the job, Robbie. Keep talking there. The show ain't over yet there. I just set up all the stuff there, but stay tuned, folks, for all kind of material coming in the group. Check out the E-Fed. I'm going to get myself a drink, Robbie. You keep the show going for 3-4 minutes there.
Yeah, anyways, Nyla Rose, I forget the lady's name. It was legit something. This woman was almost looked like a UFC fighter kind of gimmick coming out there. A little short, cute little short girl. Kind of looked like Ronda Rousey a little bit, but come out there. Match was, it almost seemed like it was going to be a squash match. Most of the offense was Nyla Rose. And she got a little bit, the other woman that she was wrestling got a little bit of offense in there. Did like this moonsault off the top turnbuckle. Got a little, it was just enough to make the match a little intriguing. That was about the only match that was a little intriguing and that's pretty sad because it's a woman's and not dissing on women's wrestling, but usually, it's pretty bad when you got to say that was about the only match that was a little intriguing to watch because most of the matches were just the same old, same old. But anyways, that match, Nyla Rose ended up winning the match, obviously, but that was about the only match that I somewhat got a little interested in, just because it felt like she may lose the match. She was there for a little bit, but like I say, it was just enough. It wasn't a lot. She didn't get a lot of offense in on Nyla Rose, but just enough to make the match somewhat okay to watch. But just it was hard to pick any. There's not a lot of good moments on this AEW Dynamite show. There really isn't a lot of good things to say about it. The only highlight for me, the highlights for this show, would be the women's match, and the promo from Britt Baker was okay. I like Britt Baker. What else would I say would be a highlight? Brock Anderson giving QT Marshall a bloody nose. I thought that was pretty funny because I don't like QT Marshall. But that were probably the highlights of the show. I mean, that's pretty bad. That's the highlights of the show. But it just wasn't that good of a show. And like I say, the shitty time slot, no wonder why the ratings are where they are. Most people are going to want to watch wrestling that late at night. I mean, it's not like it's really good wrestling anymore. It'd be one thing if the product was really good. People, may would stay up that late to watch it. But now, when there's only going to be one or two good segments on the show, are you really going to stay up to 11 or 10 o'clock if you have to work the next day? Simple as that. That's why their ratings are going to the shitter. Plus, the show's it doesn't have that intrigue. And, when it first came out, AEW felt different. It had a nostalgic kind of feeling to it because it was fresh. But now everybody kind of knows what's going to happen because it's the same thing happens every show.
Because of Tony Schiavone and Jim Ross, it felt good with them to see Schiavone again, but
and that's still more out now. Now they have to prove themselves, and they're not. They're not proving themselves. They're just doing the same shit every week, and that's why it's like Eric Bischoff said. He said they're going to get to a certain point, and then they're going to start going down. And damn if he wasn't right about it. He knows what that's one guy I've learned to kind of respect a little bit more over the years. He knows what he's talking about because he predicted AEW would do what they're doing right now.
Eric Bischoff.
He said they would get to a certain height, and then they would start dropping down. And that's what
I said that too, Robby. I don't have the same credential as Bischoff there, but I predicted that. But the reason I predict that is because overall wrestling is going to fail because it's going down overall.
Yeah.
That's the only thing it can do is go up a certain level and eventually crash. We're going to preserve wrestling in this group right here, Robby.
And these people that are saying that Impact Wrestling is the best wrestling company, I just have you heard this argument?
No, but I think Impact is a little bit fun style. It's not good, but it's like a little fun, a little bit. See, I like the women wrestlers. See,
their women division. That's one thing I'll say. Their women division has always been okay. Even back in the year when they were big, they had a pretty decent knockout division.
What's the name of the girl that was that got released because she stole a cell phone case there?
Oh yeah,
I like her there.
Tennille
Dashwood.
Yeah,
I don't think she's doing anything major on the show. It's a lot of it is booked like goofy garbage, but I like her and some of the other women and
Emma. They used to be Emma in WWE. Yeah, she's hot as hell. Yeah,
Oh, I
That's
like
another
her
thing.
for her brute strength and fighting abilities, Robbie. Who else is
Yes.
who else is in TNA?
Havoc, I think. Isn't Havoc still there? Or,
Well,
I don't know.
I mean, overall, who else is in the company? There ain't that many men. Sammy Callahan, Moose, Eddie
Hogan,
Edwards,
that Hogan chick, what's her name?
Brooke Hogan.
Yeah. And they got Jordan, kind of big girl, Jordan something. I forget her name. She's kind of big. She's cute, but she's big. I can't. Jordan something. I can't think of her last name.
The TNA has like a feeling of not taking themselves too seriously now, you know.
Yeah,
And I think
guess I'll
that's a
give them
decent
that.
approach. It's a decent approach to take because at this stage of the game, it's not really serious company. It fell apart and it crashed a long time ago, right? And they
I
have
guess
very
I could
low
give them,
budget, so
and I guess I could give them a little credit. Their commentating is a little better than WWE's, but that's not saying much because WWE, they don't really have good commentators anymore. So, I don't know. It's Impact Wrestling to me was the best in like 2007 to 2009. That was when I enjoyed watching it. TNA.
I liked Impact when it first started, the weekly
Yeah.
pay-per-views. Jeff Jarrett, Ron Killings, and stuff like that, you know. But then it just became way too fucking weird, and the fans were fucking so cringy. The TNA fans, they would always act like gangster and tough guy in the comments. I'll be back in 2 minutes.
No. TNA. Now I tell you who's got the craziest fans. CM. What's that company? CM's CZW. That CZW. Yeah, them hardcore matches. God damn it. Fucking light. What's it that they got like the light bulbs and the fucking all that crazy shit? Did you see where fucking remember what's the guy from the WWE? Zack Ryder made his debut in CZW.
He made his debut in CZW, eh?
I don't think it was CCW. It was maybe G. What's that other one? The Global Syndicate Wrestling or G? It's like another indie wrestling, GSW or something like that. It was Nick
I
Gage.
read something about Zack Ryder going at some indie company. I don't know. Is it CZW?
I think it was another one.
He's a complete opposite of that company. Then it's like
that's
that
what's
match
funny
and
about it.
contact.
What was funny about it is he had a thing on him, he was covered up where you couldn't tell who he was, and he was moving around like John Moxley. Everybody thought it was John Moxley, and then when he took it off, it was Zack Ryder. It's funny. It's kind of funny, and he beat up. I think it was Nick Gage. I think that may have been Nick Gage in there that he beat up.
I read that. Zack Ryder attacked Nick Gage. I don't know who Nick Gage is, but I've heard his name mentioned recently.
He is on Dark Side of the Ring. You should watch that. He's pretty.
Well, that's why he's making his name on that program, and now people are talking about him. This Nick Gage.
Yeah, he's crazy. You gotta watch.
So who's gonna take him first, then NXT or AEW if he's making a name for himself?
Who, Nick Gage?
Be the first to sign this guy, Nick Gage. Right?
I think AEW would be the only company that would touch him. I don't think WWE would touch him.
So he's too hardcore style.
Yeah, he's been to prison, man. He robbed a bank.
I'll try to look at who he is or whatever.
Yeah, watch Dark Side of the Wrestling. It's on. You can watch it on YouTube. Just put in dark side of the ring.
You know, I'm gonna show up here tomorrow with a headband and then the ECW t-shirt there, and I'm gonna become an extreme wrestling fan.
Easy Domino.
I'll start sending you links to Japanese deathmatch wrestling. Hey, Robby, did you see this match? They just
check out this
up.
electric cage match. Check out this electric cage match.
It's better. I think it's better like that than to be writing fucking "Thank you, Daddy Tony." Thank you, sexy Cody Rhodes, for saving wrestling.
Oh, I love Cody Rhodes. He's an icon.
It's better to mark out for cage matches than to be like that, in my opinion. At least it's manly. This hardcore wrestling.
I want to see you take a light bulb in the head.
So that a lot of them, they're like that, you know.
If there ain't no light bulbs or straps involved, fuck that shit. What?
So Jerry was talking about this, wanting to watch hardcore wrestling or something. He said he wanted to watch the show.
I mean, it is kind of fun to watch, but it's sad because those wrestlers aren't getting paid shit and they're ruining their bodies. That's what's sad about it. But it is kind of fun to watch, I will be honest. Like if I see it, I'll watch it because I can't get over that people would do that to their bodies for such a small payday. They're so addicted to the pain rush from it. Like Nick Gage, he said he's fucking crazy.
Some of these guys, that's the highest they'll ever go, right? And they know that, so they figure go big or go home. That's it.
It's kind of sad because, like I say, they're addicted to pain. A lot of them, they like the pain from it. They're not getting big paydays. Like it isn't like they're getting paid good money. Like a lot of them are working jobs or they're having to do stuff to get money because they're not making enough.
There was a hardcore NWA company before, like NWA Wild Side or NWA Anarchy or something like that. There,
that was
when there was a whole bunch of different NWAs there.
Yeah, that's the one that AJ Styles started here in Georgia and Cornelia, the NWA Anarchy. Yeah, I remember watching him wrestle when he started. Him and Ron Killens actually started the same company. They ended up being in TNA together. So, yeah, Ron Killens used to be a really good wrestler, man. I don't know, he's a comedy wrestler now, but I mean, he was a world champion at one time.
He could have been maybe a world champ in WWE back. I talked about this 5-6 times before there, but back when he had a serious feud with Cena before they made him start to act crazy, he came out with a lit cigarette. Do you remember that? When he lit the cigarette, at that moment, he was a star right there.
Yeah.
Maybe there was complaints for him smoking. I don't know what the fuck happened there. But after this, they make him start acting like a fucking goofy clown. See? But at that moment in time, he was a star right there. See? If they would have kept this going, maybe he would have won. Maybe he would have been something more. I mean,
Yeah, it's just I think if you do anything now that's a little controversial, it won't get over because people are so political now or so offended by stuff that would be oh my god,
complaining McMahon because our truth lit a cigarette, it's gonna make all the children want to smoke or something. What they should have done is just not make him smoke, maybe, but keep that kind of fucking feeling he had the night he walked into the arena like that. You see? But
let me
like
go to my
fucking.
TikTok. Let me go to my TikTok account and make a video about this.
Nah. So, like they should have kept it going. Why is like Muhammad Hassan? People complain they got rid of him. Like at least our truth got to keep his job without he plays the part of a clown. Yeah, man. Like
I thought
potential
that
our
shit was
truth
funny.
world champion that walked out in the arena that night with a lit cigarette going up against Cena. He had something that night. See? That's something the company fucked up. Like Muhammad Hassan and a couple other mistakes. See? Bobby Lashley is a mistake. Him losing to John Cena and then leaving for 20 years or however fucking long he was gone. Him coming back and winning the belt is like fixing a mistake, but say there you miss 15 years of what could have been. Let's say when he was hot, when he came in hot, but then they made him lose to Big John or what. I think that was a mistake. Let's say.
Everybody jobbed to Cena, it seemed that one time, or most of the guys jobbed to Cena because that's who they picked to be their face for such a long time. Now Cena's making horrible movies and on game shows.
I haven't seen any of his game shows, but
my mom
his
watches that
image,
one.
his actor image, his face with his hair, his JBL haircuts and whatever. This kind of new image they have for him. I'm the straight looking man, John Cena, plain boring man. Ha ha ha. Like it's a
He's
little
not a
cheap.
good actor.
The face that you see on appearing on talk show with very minimal charisma with JBL haircut. I don't know. This it's almost like a persona he invented just for these things.
Yeah, I just think he's a horrible actor. He needs to go back to wrestling because he's not a good actor.
Like, look at The Rock, whether he's The Rock or whether he has an interview, you can see that sparkle in his eye and you see the charisma. That's it. John Cena, when he's talking in interviews, he sounds almost like a robot these days. China, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, China. See? He's just
and
like
then when he tries to be cool, it just comes off lame. I don't know.
So he should be more Mr. What's it called? The neighborhood, the show for kids.
Yeah, maybe do a kids show or something.
Mr. Rogers.
Yeah, he needs to go back to wrestling. They really need to bring him back. WWE doesn't have like any big stars. I mean, I hate to say it, but I think they need to bring back Cena. I mean, what do they have right now? Bobby Lashley's about their Roman Reigns. We got Randy Orton, but they got him and Team Bro or whatever the hell RBRK Bro. What's it called? Or the hell is that all about?
Well, that's another thing. Like, wasn't Randy Orton like main event level hot the past year?
Yeah.
Like Orton putting out a bunch. He knocks out Big Show, Christian, Edge. He was badass. He was having very good matches of wrestling. He was helping put over McIntyre, all of this, and now he's in the mid card. What the fuck? Like, you have a guy who's on a hot streak. Why would you purposely ruin this? Like, what's the point?
Yeah. Doesn't make any sense.
I'll be back in 2 seconds.
Yeah, Randy Orton should still be one of their big guys. I mean, they got Randy Orton, Jeff Hardy. I mean, they got, I don't know, it's just horrible. Wrestling all around is just, it's pretty bad.
And what about the NWA there? Have you been watching it now? Huh?
Well, I don't get to watch it because they don't put their show on their YouTube channel anymore. They stream it. You got to pay to watch them now.
Well, where do you even, like, if I wanted to watch it, where do I go? And I have to pay how much to watch this shit?
Fight, I think it's called Fight TV.
Fight TV, okay, well, I can get all, like my dad, he can see all of this, yeah, you know what I mean?
You have
I
to pay
watched
like
a bit of NWA the other day, a little bit of Ring of Honor. Ring of Honor is fucking dead, you know what I mean?
it's horrible. Yeah, that's like I don't know why that company's still them and what's the other one? MLW. I don't know. I think like I say with NWA, they put they took the woman's title off of that Serena Deeb. They put
And
it
they
on
gave
the
it
other.
to that big blonde Camille or whatever. I
Yeah,
read that. You know, she's good
yeah,
looking her for a big, tall woman, you know.
yeah.
She still looks feminine. She'd say a little bit more and she'll start looking too bodybuilder-ish. Yeah, man.
Yeah, and
As
she'll
it
need to get in the
stands
big.
right now, she still looks good for being a monster steroid woman from another dimension.
Yeah, she don't need to get on any more steroids or whatever she's doing. She needs to do more cardio. I think I think they're okay. I mean, they lost a lot of good talent during COVID, but they still. I mean, it's okay to watch for something to have a nostalgic feel or kind of like the old school feel to it. It's okay for that. They're not ever going to
So
be on the level.
I watched like 5, 6 episodes, maybe more than that. To me, I enjoyed it at the very beginning
Yeah,
with
they
Tim
were the best.
Storm. I like Tim Storm, you know what I mean? Because it would say I don't think Tim Storm. Obviously, he's too old. He was old and he wasn't that good, you know what I'm saying? But when
He
he
is a good
when what's his name bought the NWA, Tim Storm was say it was pretty much an indie little bush league thing there,
Yeah,
and it still is, and pretty much there, but it was way more bush league than it is now, right? So Tim Storm was the current champion at the time when he bought this thing. So instead of just having Tim Storm job on the first night to whoever, they treated him with respect on the way out, kind of deal, right?
yeah. He's
So
commentating now. He's one of their commentators.
because he did such a good job, pretty much he stayed on as a regular character, even though he's old and he's not very charismatic, but he somehow made it believable that he was a wrestler. You know what I mean, Robby? And
I
it
mean, he
was
just had to me, he had like a good baby face feel to him. He just, people
it
liked
was
him.
very well presented. The early episodes of NWA, there wasn't a whole bunch of people. It was focused more on Tim Storm and Magnus and that other guy who passed away, Josie Fiss there.
Yeah, I liked him. Yeah.
Around that time, I thought it was very good. You know what I mean? But then the fucking guy that was the creative mind behind all that, the presentation and everything, Lagana, that's his name. He got nailed for some kind of pedophile thing or something.
Sexual. Well, I think it was sexual harassment. A woman got him in trouble, or David
Some
Lagana.
kind of sexual allegation. If it's not the pedophile, I don't want to say that. I mean, whatever allegation, whatever. It was something, right?
Yeah, it was like a sexual harassment thing, I think. He stepped down. He just resigned. So
They also had Jim Cornette on commentary.
yeah,
He got kicked out because of some joke that was deemed
yeah,
racist, like some kind of
joked about
racial
starving
humor.
people in Ethiopia, starving people in Ethiopia, or something like that.
Well, like I don't remember what it was. It could kind of go both ways. The joke, it was like racial humor, or I don't know. It wasn't even that bad, the joke, but because say he's so hated online, of course they're gonna run with that, right? Try
Yeah,
to get him fired, right? And they succeeded, you know.
you can't joke about that stuff anymore. It's everything nowadays. Everything's under a microscope. Anything you say, they look for anything to get you on to ruin your
Like
reputation
it
over.
wasn't really like a joke, like against black people or anything like
No,
that. It was like dry like the desert in some country or something. Yeah. I don't remember what it was, but it wasn't like they're like racist. It was racial,
it
but not
was. Yeah,
racist.
it wasn't like he was just coming out and being straightforwardly racist. I mean, you could argue that if you were very sensitive, and that's what's wrong. People are too sensitive now. It's like, geez. These
But
kids, these
basically,
young,
when the Langana guy left and Cornette left, then they lost like half their audience.
and what really hurt them was when COVID hit because all of their big stars had to find work. I mean, they couldn't survive on. I mean, hell, they weren't making nothing. They weren't able to wrestle, so a lot of the big people left and went elsewhere. We got what's the guy in AEW? Ricky. What's his last name?
Starks.
Yeah, he had to leave because he wasn't. He had to feed himself, make money, pay bills. You can't pay bills if you ain't doing nothing. So they lost a few wrestlers. They lost Mr. Anderson left.
Speaking of Ricky Starks, did we talk about the main event, the tag team main event?
Oh no,
With Brian Cage and all that there.
no, that's the match that I kind of didn't watch good. I
That
watched
what
most of
happened. Ricky Starks come out. He wants Brian Cage to interfere. Ricky Starks slaps Brian Cage, and then Cage just followed him to the back in a very goofy TNA looking fashion. That's it. So he abandoned his partner, the steroid guy with a mask, and they got beat or whatever. Now the steroid guy in the mask was partner with the blonde guy. Okay, I'll be back in a second.
All right.
It was Adam Page and steroid guy with a mask, Preston Vance versus Brian Cage and the big guy with the power lifter, their powerhouse
The
Hobbs.
powerhouse Hobbs with the crooked
So
smile.
basically, fucking that Starks comes out with a purple outfit, and his face and his demeanor. No offense to anyone, but he looked gay as hell when he came out. Ricky Stark.
I think he does that purposely because
with Hook or whatever there. And
he does that cocky. He comes out like kind of cocky like that, and I don't know, like it's almost like The Rock a little, but it's different. It's funny. It's goofy to me. I like the guy. There's something about him that's funny, and when he talks, it's funny. Like his promos are funny.
So I think
Hook.
It
does kind of look gay. It does look kind of gay.
You look
It
gay
does.
big time when you came out, like fucking next level gay, let's say. And then he tosses or Hook or somebody tosses the belt to Brian Cage. Cage doesn't want to use it. Starks gives him a slap in the face, and then Brian Cage just walks and follows him, kind of deal, like he wants to hurt him from giving him the slap. Like back in the day, like Bobby Heenan smacks his wrestler. See, the wrestler gets mad, he grabs him by the neck, see, and the whole crowd goes wild. The wrestler finally has enough. He punches Bobby Heenan, and the crowd goes wild. You know what I mean? Big crowd, big reaction. Here it's Ricky Starr give him a slap. Brian Cage, he reacts like a goofball instead of grabbing him, and he's had enough, and he punches him. Or maybe that's Taz. Taz is the one that's gonna happen too. Yeah. But hopefully it's done better than what they did here tonight. Starks gives him the slap. It's Stark who gives the slap, and instead Brian Cage reacts like a goof, and he starts to like fake chasing him away up the ramp. Ricky Stark is just walking backwards, and Brian is just following him in a goofy fashion, and they just walk all the way out to the back. You know how they do this in wrestling sometimes. People just brawl and they go away, and somebody's left alone in the ring. Well, when Brian Cage is following Ricky Starks out and that kind of deal, it just looks so fucking goofy and obvious that it's fake. See? The way he just follows him out to the back in such a goofy, obvious looking fashion. And then fucking the good guys won or whatever. There they beat Powerhouse Hobbs there. So this Preston Vance, it's a couple of times they put him in the main event. I'm assuming this is based on his size alone or whatever. But how do you take a guy serious in this a fucking gimmick like this with a goofy looking mask like that? You know what I mean? And then they have a beer celebration after the match. It's 30 guys with masks drinking beer, and then there's a little kid on stage with them there. The son of Brody Lee.
I thought his grades must have improved. Remember the story that was out there is that they were going to take him off of TV because of he wasn't doing his homework or whatever.
That's because people complain, why the fuck you guys got a kid on the show like this? Like, we get it, his father passed away, and it sucks. It sucks for the kid. See, it makes the kid feel good, I guess, right? But at the same time, you have a 6-year-old on the show or 10-year-old. I don't know I don't remember his age. It's just weird and awkward. Like in a moment like this, for example, it's a bunch of dudes drinking beer on stage. Why is there a little shirtless boy on the stage? Like at this point in time, like say like WWE have done stuff. They have a kid on the show sometime. They make him beat a wrestler. See, there's a time and place for this. Say Braun Strowman and the kid, it was a one night thing. But like some people would say that fucks up the seriousness of the tag team titles. You know what I mean? But it was presented that Braun is so tough that he was able to win the belts alone. Now he's released. I guess his toughness didn't matter. So that had happened once, and then the next night the kid is done. See, Kid gives back the belt. They say maybe later the kid comes back. See? But with this, it's the kid's there almost every week. It's awkward,
Yeah, it's
especially
very awkward.
when they had a little kid, the kid on commentary. Like I like wrestling. I understand the kid has his father died, but I don't see as a grown man. I don't. It's awkward to listen to an 80-year-old on commentary. You know what I mean? As much as cool as it is for the kid, you know what I mean? Like if I want to watch Superman movie, I don't want to watch like a little boy as Superman. See?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If I watch a wrestling show, I want to watch wrestlers. I want to listen to commentary from guys that are good at doing commentary, not like little boy. You know, it's yeah, you know, it's okay you bring him out once in a while, but it's more like a PR stunt on their end. You know, that's what that kind of feels like to me at this point. Like.
Yeah, they try to be politically correct. And that them all everything now is in the US. I don't know about Canada, but here everything now is geared to be politically correct.
So
It's
if the company stays in existence for 10, 15 years, let's say, and there's 7, 8 wrestlers that die under contract, say you have especially older wrestlers. So are you gonna end up with like 7, 8 kids on the show? Yeah, like you know what I mean? Like I don't want to sound heartless. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to sound heartless, but it's wrestling. Yeah, like when I watch AEW, I want to see how corny fucking Cody Rhodes is gonna be this week. I want to listen to the Kenny Omega promo to see what the deal is with the supposed greatest wrestler of all time, the leader of the fucking gay nation on Twitter, the AEW fanboys or whatever. I want to hear what this he called himself a wrestling god earlier in the night. Did you hear that?
yeah, that's a joke. Uh,
Uh, See, I
he,
want to
he,
hear I want to see what he's gonna do. I'm not interested to watch an 80-year-old. And like when they put the kid on commentary, it's like, see, commentary, it's supposed to be done by professional, so it sounds okay to the ear. See, a little boy laughing and giggling, and he sound high pitched voice. That's not don't make for good commentary. You know what I mean? Like I don't want to judge the kid like that, you know, but when you're watching one of their internet shows and the kid's on commentary for a 20-minute match, it sounds unprofessional. It's just the way it is. When there's
yeah,
a baseball game on TV, is there a kid on commentary for a baseball game? Yeah, like you're not gonna have a little boy on commentary during the fucking baseball game. You know what I mean, Robby? Like
yeah.
just
It's just
the
there's no credibility in wrestling anymore. It's nothing that's
yeah.
believable.
If that's at the level it is now, and like I was seeing some of these guys in the comments, I love -1. Like I don't have a problem with the kid at all. Like I feel bad for the boy. He lost his
Yeah,
dad and stuff. See,
I mean, how long has it been? I mean, it's been.
if
You
we
have to
if
go.
ben c'est ça, it's like a year now, dude. Like you know, like if the kid's really gonna have some kind of contract later on, just bring him out once a year or something. See, so
Yeah.
but every single week, that's see, maybe
Well,
like in a couple. Maybe you
he may
show
not
him
even want
once
to
a
wrestle
year.
when he gets older. He may decide he don't want to wrestle. I
Man,
mean, how did
that
he know?
too, huh?
I mean, Not everybody
Maybe
wants to do
like
that.
next year, let's say you see him in the special Christmas episode. See, and then if he decides to wrestle, well, you don't see him when he's 12, 13, 14. Then when he's 16 years old, then you show him, oh, here he's training to wrestle or whatever. See, you know what I mean? And then eventually he comes back and wrestles, but like you don't need this little boy on stage every week. It's it's just weird. Yeah, in my opinion, it's weird. Like that's how I feel, right? I don't want to say mean stuff, but like having a little boy every week on the wrestling show, it don't fit.
It's not right. He shouldn't be around the grown adults like that. He should be at home being a kid, not in the ring. That's my feeling. I don't
Like,
know.
is
I
it like
understand why they're doing it.
now I'm starting to feel like I don't want to say it is, but now I'm starting to feel like they're milking his death. Yeah, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I think they're milking it a little too much. Yeah, like at this point, enough. Yeah, fucking enough.
The guy rest in peace.
Exactly. Like rest in peace. It feels like Puff Daddy using Notorious B.I.G. after his death. Yeah. Making 10 records of B.I.G. after. Here's a new B.I.G. remix. Like 10 years after he's dead? You know what I mean?
It's like Tupac. Tupac, he's still making music, and he's been dead since 1996.
It's been a year something. They talk about him every week. Like, just let him go. Yeah,
I hate to say this.
Just have a Brody Lee match like they did with Andre the Giant. Make a Brody Lee match or the special Brody Lee tournament every year. You have the tournament. You pay homage once a year. See? One day the kid shows up if he's old enough. If the company's not dead by then, maybe the kid shows up at one point and wins the match of his father. That's it. But you don't need him there every freaking show. Yeah, like it's just weird.
And just awkward. He shouldn't be in there for a bunch of adults drinking beer.
Well, he was drinking water.
Yeah.
They showed that the kid had a bottle of water, say, but like it's not really the place for a kid, 30 tough man drinking beer. They're all shirtless. The kid is there shirtless with a bunch of dudes drinking beer. Like, what's the point? Like,
That's exactly what it is. Big playground at this point. AEW is just a big playground at this point. That's right. It's a big field day. That's all it is. Go along, get along. There's still a quote from somebody that
it doesn't feel serious. It's like half-ass fucking weird shit. Yeah. Book like an E-Fed, like you said.
It's an E-Fed. E-Fed for wrestlers. For wrestlers that used to be in the WWE and wrestlers that were only popular in the indies.
That's what people say too about Tony Khan. That's his real life action figures. See?
Yeah.
So it's like it feels like that, like an E-Fed action figure show on YouTube, the way it's booked.
And how does he have any type of reputation of doing anything other than being rich? I mean, what's this nickname, the Forbidden Door? What the fuck is that all about? He's just a geeky dude with glasses on that's got billions of dollars.
They
That's
were
all.
doing talent exchange with Japan, other companies way before he was born. Yeah, so
Exactly. Forbidden Door. I'm the Forbidden Door. I'm just a geek with glasses on that's got billions of dollars because of my dad, basically. So I just, I don't know. I just think it's so cringy. Well,
it's
let me tell you
terrible.
something, Mr. Con. I'm the real Con. You're a con man from Connecticut or whatever. It's the most cringiest promo.
And the fans, you just see like the people it attracts. So you look at the average
Yeah,
AEW
it's a bunch of
fan, and
guys.
like
It's
I'm
over
not
a bunch of
saying everybody's like this. See, there's some
here it is.
people that are normal that watch it,
There's
but
some.
like, but
A lot of them are.
a lot of them, like when you look at the crowd, a lot of them they look like freaks. Tabarnak.
Oh yeah, they do.
It's, be- it's because it attracts a fucking weird kind of
It's
fan
over
base.
a bunch of anime watching geeks for the most part, from what I could tell from when I do my little scope of the crowd. And a bunch of guys that probably wear masks and try to be edgy. Um, we know people like that in this community, but that's the kind of people. That's the kind of people it attracts. I mean, that's their. I mean, it is. If you're a normal person, you're probably not going to really think it's that great. I mean, you, I hate to be so offensive, but I mean, unless you just love wrestling, you're really into wrestling, and you want to see it go. You thinking that there's some kind of nostalgia. At the beginning, I kind of was watching it and trying to get into it because it had a few moments where it had a nostalgic feel to it, but then that became so repetitive now that you know what's going to happen. Before you watch the show, you already know what's going to happen. So it's like I don't even want to watch it no more. It's like there's nothing new here. It's the same shit. Cody Rhodes is going to cut an epic promo or whatever, just about cry or something like that's going to happen.
There's a
It's,
lot of formula that they like. This is what an epic promo from the past looked like, and then they try to replicate stuff
yeah,
like this. You know what I mean? Like the Kenny Omega 5-star match. It's like a long match, lots of kick out. You know what I mean?
it's got to
It's
be at
just
least
like
20 minutes long.
it's all like replicating like an old formula. See, it's just replicating it, but it's not that good. It's all fucking corny and fucking forced, you know.
And to be a good tag team, you got to be able to outflip the other tag team or do the most
And since
craziest thing.
when? Since when did wrestling need a bunch of flips? Like you and
Yeah,
me, we've been watching it since the days of Hogan and stuff. All the guys that were on the card, nobody was doing this. He had Superfly Snuka that
yeah, he
so he
did a
did like a
crossbody.
he did the fly like a splash, a flying splash. Different guys had different jumps. And it wasn't like, say, they started doing the flips much later, let's say, but like nobody needed to flip in wrestling. Like that came later on with cruiserweights and
And
stuff.
when people did do it, when people did start doing the flips, they didn't overdo it. They did it
Now
in
it was
special
a finishing
occasions.
move. We've
Yeah,
done the flying splash. We've done the moonsault. Now here's a fucking 420 or 450 splash, whatever. There, eventually the jumps got more and more, but it was used as a finishing move, right? Because if the
exactly.
guy does 30 flips during the match, what does the last flip mean? He's already done 100 flip, right? But like that was like one small guy on the roster who had a jumping flip finish. You had maybe two, three guys at a time that had jumping finish, right? But now
Oh, everybody.
they're every fucking match. Like, why does Hangman Page need to do these flips? He has no reason.
Exactly.
A flip before a clothesline. Why? Like, you fucking end up walking on the ground anyway, and you just start running towards the guy. Like, you might as well just run. What's with the unnecessary flip? That just gives you less time to run properly with fucking momentum. That's it. Like,
And you don't see big guys hardly anymore. Like not so much muscular, even just big fat guys that were actually decent. They could move. Like
earthquake, one man gang. When we were
you
kids,
don't have that.
when we
You
were
don't have
kids,
a
that was a
boundary.
big deal. Earthquake, remember? I would had a say big earthquake comes out. He's beating people up, beating up the good guy and whatever. Say jumps and sits on them. Oh my! Broke his ribs. See? And it was believable back then, that he had broken ribs, the face.
You had Bam Bam Bigelow that could do like he could move pretty good for a big guy. I mean,
But
it
him,
was
he
a lot
was the
better.
first one to do that. That he's the big guy that can flip or do
Yeah,
cartwheel or whatever. Yeah.
they don't
That
have.
that made him different than the other big guys.
It's like when I watch wrestle now, it's a skinny dude. They look like guys that I see here in the local indie circuit, like in this area. They look just like the same kind of guys, long curly hair, uh, the same kind of build, very skinny. They may have a little bit of muscle, but they're just a lot of them are just skinny. You, hell, the smart busters who get into wrestling, they might actually could get over because I mean it's just little bitty guys that are just skinny dudes. It's,
The smart busters can probably cut better promo than most guys that are on the roster. So, like, I didn't think me that I could have physically became a wrestler back then. Because wrestlers were big, muscular dudes,
oh
right?
shit!
Or
Mr.
like
Rob,
guys that were gifted athletically or something, let's say, or larger than life. Now, like, you look at some of these guys like Joey Janela, just a fucking little goof, yeah, a little freak looking
I hate
guy.
him. Yeah, it's horrible. Joey
If a guy
Janela,
like who could have imagined a guy like this and being on television booked as serious wrestler?
the
That's
bad guy. He's the bad guy, Joey Janela. What's so bad about him? He looks like a freaking.
so you never would have seen that in wrestling.
Keep some kind of loose cannon or something. Like there's nothing extreme about him. He looks like a moron. I just
When I
man.
saw him cut the promo the first time, his face and his voice, it's like, holy shit. Who's this
Yeah,
mongoloid? This
he's the bad
mongoloid
guy.
on the mongoloid on the loose. I didn't believe this guy was being presented as a serious wrestler.
Yeah, him and Sonny Kiss had that tag team there for a little bit. Died out. That was awkward as hell.
Well, they brought out Sonny Kiss so they could show how fucking how woke is that the word? How woke they are or whatever. Then he had a match with Cody Rhodes, and Cody Rhodes played the ultimate woke gimmick on Twitter. Don't you dare talk
We're
about my
very
friends.
accepting. Yes,
How dare you? He's
we're
a good
very
guy.
accepting.
Remember that stuff? How he was pretending to get mad online about the stuff. Yeah. Like he didn't expect to see some comments about this match. Let's say. I'm not saying I'm against the match, but obviously some people are going to write some trolling comments about this. So he comes
Here's
out
my
his big act, how he's saving the gays, whatever, online. Like, come on. I understand they're doing the all-inclusive gimmick, but it's too much. God, it's too over the top. See? But
Yeah.
so basically Sunny Kiss, they use them to show how progressive they are. Cody Rhodes had a competitive match with him so we could show off how good he himself is, Cody Rhodes. Yeah. And after that, he was off TV for like a year. They have nothing else for him. We got nothing for you. We've used your gayness to try to look good, and you're going to be in catering for the next 9 months. Then he has a few match with Joey Janela. Basically, he was there, then he was never on TV. Then he had a match with Cody Rhodes. Then he was off TV. Then he was in the tag team with Janela. Then he was off TV again. Like, so it's obvious they just use this guy so they can look good. Like,
Yeah, that's like Nyla Rose, because Nyla Rose is a transgender, and they build her up. They'll probably have her title. Yeah, I mean she already is basically. They're building that up. Her and Britt Baker, I think, is going to wrestling before it's over with. And realistically, do you think Britt Baker's going to be able to beat that big, huge beast? I know that they
I
probably
hope
will let her win.
she has to win, Britt Baker, but
Yeah.
that's going to be her first match, I guess. She has to go up against Nyla Rose. Like Britt Baker should have probably been the first champion. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I kind of think so too. I kind of think that's what they should have done, but they for some reason they went with Akira. But
They went with Kenny Omega's weird Japanese fixation with that tiny girl, the first one. She's not even attractive, really. The first champion, what's her name? Rio. Why? Like she's not ugly, but she's not like.
She's not like the sexiest woman in the world. She's cute, but
she's just like very, very, very small. Let's say, and let's see, like who relates to this basically, apart from Kenny Omega, like. The average guy doesn't watch this Stardom company there. When they started bringing out these Japanese women from Stardom or whatever, like some of the fans were acting like, oh, I watch AEW, TNA, MLW, Stardom. They started adding the Stardom into everything. Like you're expected to watch this. Nobody watches Stardom. You understand? Like there's a tiny percentage of the wrestling audience that actually watches New Japan. I'm willing to bet, Robby, a lot of these guys online, they're so cheap and petty, these guys. A lot of them, they probably fake the New Japan thing. A lot of them watch it, but there's some that probably fake. They're going to write that they like it and it's better than WWE, but they probably just watch a couple of match every 3 months kind of deal. You know what I mean? Like me, I can watch Wrestle Kingdom online. I could try to find other shows. I'm not going to go and say that I'm watching New Japan, like, see? But them, they watch. They're going to watch a couple of odd shows on YouTube there, and then they claim to be giant fan of New Japan. A lot of them, you can bet that's what they do, let's say. But there's such a small percentage of the fan base that actually watches New Japan. And only a fraction of the New Japan people are going to watch a little weirdo organization called Stardom. You know what I mean? So, like, nobody gets this, Rio. You know what I mean? Nobody cares. Nobody gives a shit. You know what I mean? apart from a tiny, tiny percentage, and other guys who are just going along with it because it's Kenny's baby or whatever, you know. And then they put the title on the transgender, see? And then it was another Japanese woman. Now this one is more cute. There, what's her name there? Akiru Shida. She was more appealing visually, you know what I mean? But who are you? See, she never cut promos. The one time she cuts a promo, she gets mocked by the Spanish announcer or whatever. You know what I mean? She never cuts promo. We don't know who she is, why we should care. But she's a Japanese woman wrestler, so apparently she's the champ, let's say. But really, there's nothing you can relate. So now Britt Baker is finally like, say, a wrestler female that can talk and act like a champion that we can understand and relate to, let's say.
And it's
What are
very
they going to
attractive.
do with it? I have no idea. But the first thing they do is put her up against the transgender. So and I guess the next match is against maybe the Japanese woman with a mustache that had a Freddie Mercury gimmick. You remember her?
Oh God, that was hard. Yeah, that's horrible. Yeah, that.
Maybe it's Sunny Kiss after this against.
Bring that one back that I liked that you were. Remember the one that was singing? What was her name? She went back to
The
Japan.
small one, Maki Uko, whatever.
Yeah.
I
That
am
one.
Queen of Peace that had a thing with Cornette. So it's just weird stuff because she sends weird stuff to Cornette while the fans get behind her. That's it. And then they act fucking like big simps, whatever. That was a gimmick that her fans are simps, and they're all writing, "I'm a simp for Mackie," like a big bunch of fucking losers. You know what I mean? You want her in the main events, and she couldn't even wrestle. She was atrocious, terrible, embarrassing. Like when she got out there singing, that was fucking some of the worst television I ever seen in my life. You know what I mean? Like, and these fans put this girl in the contract, put her in the main event. Like, you serious? Fuck, what the fuck is this? You know?
Oh, that's like Orange Cassidy getting pushed to a title shot. I mean,
All the way to main event title match. Well,
the
it
guy
wasn't the main event, didn't it?
puts his hands in his pockets. I mean, this comedy
Imagine
wrestling.
that's a main event, a world title match with a guy like this and it. And sadly,
Yeah,
Orange Cassidy is one of their most biggest stars in there.
imagine Orange Cassidy versus Shawn Michaels. I mean, just think about these AEW fans going to say that they're making superstars. Hell no. If you Orange Cassidy versus Shawn Michaels, that match, I mean, could you see that, or him versus the Undertaker, or
Like, even though it's fake wrestling or whatever, Shawn Michaels, say, compared to a guy like this, it looks like Wayne Gretzky compared to like a guy playing for a house league. You know what I mean? Like,
Belleville Bulls?
Shawn Michaels, he has a feel that he's a good wrestler. You just look at him and he's a star. Let's say back in the day, whatever he was doing, say like it was done well. Let's say, and he was believable star. Michaels was a main event any night. You know what I mean? Like, he
Yeah,
could
that's
have
what I'm
been a
saying.
bad guy, DX, whatever it was. See, like
They're not a
that was a
superstar.
star. You
They're
just
not a
look at
superstar.
him.
Yeah. Unless they can wrestle against those guys, those kind of caliber of talent, to me, they're not a superstar. And
So,
I mean,
like, you just look at Michaels, even like some of his latest years, he did some of his best matches against
yeah,
Undertaker and all, you know what I mean? Like, those are some of the best matches. Fuck, man. And he was like ending his career like that, let's say. And like you just looked at Michaels and he just looked like a star and he had charisma and he had such a body of work. You've seen him wrestle all the greats and, all the great matches under his belt. And you look at him, that's a guy you can say he's one of the greatest. Let's say he's not better than Steve Austin. Well, in the ring, of course, in
yeah,
the ring, better than Steve Austin. He's not a big star as much as
yeah.
Hogan or Austin or The Rock. But in terms of a wrestler, that commands
Performer. Yeah,
respect for his body of work and everything, he's like in the category of Undertaker. Like, let's say,
yeah,
like him or not, you can't take away say the stuff he did in the ring and on the mic and everything. You know what I mean? But you'd
yep.
say these guys, they don't have this and they never will. Kenny Omega doing gay shit in Japan, and then having one or two 5-star match, against a Japanese guy. Dave Meltzer says it's best match of all time. That don't make him the greatest. Shawn Michaels, he had matches like this every fucking week. You know what I mean? There might have been less maneuver in the match, but like, don't sit there and say that Kenny Omega is a better wrestler than Shawn Michaels. There's no way on planet Earth. Anybody who's serious wrestling fan can say this. Like, is there any
Exactly.
possible argument to say in any way that Kenny is better in ring than Shawn Michael? Like,
Hell no, no.
you know what I mean? Like, Shawn Michael, he's so good in the ring. Like, say Steve Austin, The Rock, Hogan, say even Ric Flair was good in the ring, say very good, but like even Flair said it himself that Shawn Michaels was the best in the ring. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
Ric Flair said it himself. Say, you guys respect me, all my hour-long matches every night. But he said Shawn Michaels the best in ring performer.
Yeah, it was really good. I mean, you got him, Bret Hart. I mean, yeah, what's the other guy? Mr. Perfect was good. I mean, unless they can rank up to people like that, I don't consider them like big stars. I mean, they might be for modern wrestling, but if you're gonna say overall a superstar, no. I mean, they only have 1,000, 1 million people that watch their product at the most. That's
Overall,
not.
Kenny Omega, compare Kenny just to Michaels alone. He's bigger than Michaels, but like in terms of in ring, Shawn Michaels is better. He's better on the mic, more of
Yeah,
a
Sean.
star, more charisma. Like, in what way would Kenny be better than Michaels? Like,
I would say none. I can't think of any. Even if you're just looking at what he does as far as his move set, I mean, I don't even think he's better than Sean with his move set. Uh, I mean, he doesn't do all. I mean, what does he do besides he does that little? What's his main move called?
the one wing angel, whatever.
Yeah, he does that, and then he does the V trigger, which he does that about 500 times in his matches.
Michaels
Um,
didn't do these moves every match. You know what I mean?
yeah, Shawn Michaels used to win matches with what was it, a back suplex or something like that back in the early '90s. He had that. Um, He didn't before he did the super kick. He did that other
Before
move.
the super kick, I don't remember.
Yeah, he had that sexy boy. You know, when he first turned heel, when he turned on Marty Jannetty, threw him through that window. Then he had, I think it was like a side suplex, or maybe it was something like that. And he didn't always do. No, no, I just think I can't think of any
The
way he would
guy
do better.
involved, but remember that time they would do that? Just pick up the guy sideways and just land on the ground with him, a side suplex.
Yeah, yeah.
You
It's,
don't see that
uh,
anymore, stuff like this.
I don't see how he's the greatest wrestler of all of the current era. I don't see that. Um, I mean, that's just my opinion. I don't.
Wokeness killing the business as always, says Facebook user.
That's like me and you saying we're the best wrestlers. You know, we could make our own company and say that we're the best wrestler of all time. Go out there and wrestle.
AEW, it's like in between real wrestling and Grimm's toy show kind of deal, you know? It's like halfway, let's say. Like Grimm's toy show is like full on fake parody wrestling, you know what I mean? Or at least it was. Maybe they're trying to present themselves as something that they're not because they're not wrestlers. um, say it was at least what it used to be was like full on parody wrestling. Yeah. So it's like almost halfway in between that. Let's say it's like a parody of real wrestling kind of deal, you know.
That's what,
Cares. They're embracing the fact that kayfabe is dead. But if it gets too out of touch with, like, if it becomes too like non-serious, then it becomes like something that won't be taken seriously at all, right? Like at this point, see the world titles, we still think of that as important in a little bit, not as much as we used to, right there.
well, the world title is supposed to be, in my opinion, supposed to be under the best wrestler that you have, the person that can draw fans. And you can't tell me that Kenny Omega can draw more fans than a lot of the guys that are on that roster. I don't see how he can draw fans.
He's
Maybe
not
for
really
indie.
drawing fans.
No. Who do you think could draw fans right now in that company as far as a world champion? I mean,
Sting is probably the only one
yeah,
that good at his age. Fuck, he's probably
it's
the
hard
biggest star they have, but he's too
unless they
old.
the biggest chance they had for somebody being homegrown is when they had Adam Page before they started booking him as a goofy drunk. But they fucked that up when they started they started booking him as a goofball, hanging out with the Dark Order. That fucked his career up. He's never going to be taken serious now because he's out there acting like a goofball, drinking beer.
Well, what's gonna happen there? Because the AEW fans, they're talking about a supposed long-term storytelling story between Adam Page and Kenny Omega. It's apparently still an ongoing, amazing arc, even though they have nothing to do with each other for the past 6, 7, 8 months or however long. But apparently, there's a big ongoing story between them still. Like,
if they were going to do that,
so they would interact at least once in a while, for fuck's sake, if this was taking place.
And they already made Adam Page look like a big crybaby in that if they were going to do that for him, who when they lost the tag team titles and he blamed himself and like all that made him look so weak. Like why would you book a guy that's obviously one of the top homegrown stars that they have? Why would you book him to be like a little crybaby? And he's depressed, he's drinking beer, Like it's just retarded the way they book stuff. They've dropped the ball on him big time. And he's never going to be taken serious. Even if they book him as a champion, it won't have any kind of feel to it. Because people are, at least people like me that watch, that use their brain, are going to say, well, this guy
So
was depressed and, you know,
these
now he's a world
people that
champion.
these fans are claiming that there's an ongoing arc, and that he's the whatever the fucking it means, the arc. I'm, you know, I don't know why they say this now, storyline arc instead of just storyline. I don't know what arc means in that context. Like, I'll have to look it up once and for all. I mean, like, apparently there's a big arc there, B storyline. Yeah. And at some point, Adam Page will be the one to dethrone Kenny. And it's going to be a
I've,
big magical moment. Let's say
I've
that's like,
only I only know of two arcs. And that's Noah's Ark and the McTunnel arcs. That's the only arcs I know about.
so
Mm.
then it's like a big fantasy of that this is coming one day. Adam Page, the Ark Man, is going to come on Noah's Ark and take the title from Kenny, and it's going to be magic. You know what I mean? It's going to be fucking
Gonna be a
very
gigantic rainbow that appears in the ring that's
like
gonna
when
symbol.
Super Mario wins the game and they all celebrate in Mushroom Island or something, Mushroom Land. Yeah. It's gonna
Yeah,
maybe that's the problem. Maybe they're all on Magic Mushroom and
I
backstage at
think
that
so.
company. Them
They've been watching too much anime cartoons. I think.
say so. Then Adam Page he's gonna win, and this is gonna happen. The problem is the reality. Like you just said, Adam Page, he's presented in goofball matches. He's a part of the Dark Order. He's not really doing anything. He's not being treated like an upcoming world champ. He's not presented like he should be a world champ. There's no reason for him right now to become world champ, basically, right? I don't even
Oh,
think he's ready, like at his say to be a world champ. Like his look and everything, there's something missing for him to be treated serious. Is it too many flip, and he's maybe needs an extra 20 pounds of roids to look a bit more credible or a bit more solid as a
I think he
so-called
would.
heavy, say.
I think
But
he'd be better going to WWE, going to the big leagues. I think somebody like him would be
so
treated differently.
So he
If they,
needs that to grow, to help him to grow, to fucking learn how to present himself. And
yeah.
say there he's not going to get this, right? So what's going to happen if he does win the belt right now? Let's say Kenny wrestles for 8, 9 months against random guys. Okay, and then it's time for the arc to come home, let's say. And out of nowhere, like Adam Page wins a 4-man elimination or he wins a whatever match. He's the number one contender. Then he finally beats Kenny, let's say. But if for fucking the next 7, 8, 9 months to a year, however long they're going to keep the belt on Kenny, it's possible he has a really long run, you know? However long they keep it on him, if Adam Page is doing nothing and he doesn't grow as a talent, he doesn't become what real people, fans view as a world champ material guy, right? See, he's going to win the belt and it's going to be a big flop. See, the AEW fans are going to say it's amazing. The
Oh
art
yeah.
is complete. It's the best thing since sliced bread. What long term storytelling. What an arc there. Okay, but the regular fans are going to watch and they're not going to see a real world champ and it's not going to be believable. Then it's going to discredit the belt, let's say. Like when TNA put the belt on Chris Sabin and it pretty much started the beginning of the end. First, it was aces and eights with Bubba Ray Dudley. See, Bubba Ray Dudley was in a bunch of big feds and he was never given the world title. He was never viewed by the fans as a world champion caliber guy. So when TNA put the belt on him, it was a little weird, you know, it was kind of acceptable, but kind of not. You know what I mean? Which is why the ratings fucking crumbled. You know what I mean? Then they put the belt on Chris Sabin, a young star they want to push, who clearly wasn't the guy to push. And they put the belt on him, and the ratings fucking crashed. Let's say they crashed big time. You know what I mean? So that's what could happen too in AEW. Like when they put the belt on MJF, let's say, even though he can cut a promo, is he believable? His look and his height, is he believable as a world champ? You know. So these
Yeah, he
are all
comes off.
things. Eventually, they're going to run out of serious names to give the belt to. Yeah. They're going to have to start putting the belt on these younger guys that don't have it. And that's going to kill the ratings too, because then the magic of the world title is done. Let's say. Like TNA, they had a seriously treated world title with Sting, Kurt Angle. Jarrett was former WCW champ, so he booked himself too much as champ, but Jarrett, being that he won the WCW belt, it was doable for him to be the champ, right? But once they
Yeah,
started putting the belt on Bubba Ray Dudley and then on a little midget guy with no charisma that should have never won the belt, and Chris Sabin, they killed the company right there. Bang. That was the beginning of the end, let's say. Like, so the same kind of thing can happen, and they killed the title, the credibility of the belt by putting it on Chris Sabin. Then it didn't matter. They started to experiment, put the belt on Magnus, put the belt on different fucking people there. You know, and it went down to a point that they put the belt on Tessa Blanchard, you know. The belt was so worthless, they put the belt on a woman, like, you know what I mean? Like McMahon, he put the Intercontinental on the woman, but he would never do that to the world title because that would discredit the lineage of the belt, let's say. So they like so far they've had Jericho, Ambrose, and Kenny Omega, three guys who are two guys who are viewed as legit world champs in WWE, and one guy that's backed by Dave Meltzer as a Japanese champion, whatever. But as you can see, since Kenny has been the champ, the viewership has gone downhill. You know what I mean? The viewership has gone downhill. So the world title is a big fucking thing, let's say, in wrestling. Once you fuck your world title, then you're viewed as worthless, basically, you know?
that's the thing.
When WWE put the belt on Jinder Mahal, you know what I mean? Like a lot of fans were like, the fuck is this? You know what I mean? But Jinder, me, I think it was okay because he gained 50 pounds of roid muscle, but then he he did a few good promos, but then WWE Creative just went full retarded and he was doing the same promo every week there. But basically, when AEW starts putting the belt on a bunch of people that shouldn't be champ, that's when it's going to start dying more, you know? Like, who can they give it to? Cody Rhodes. Cody apparently signed a deal with MJF. He'll never be champ, but obviously they'll need to put the belt on him at some point.
Oh yeah, Cody will have that title. I guarantee you that.
Who else is good enough to be a real viewed as a real
Um,
world champ? Like,
unless they get a big star from the WWE that they somehow miraculously get, I don't. I mean, Christian Cage probably could be a champion, but he's not going to be like,
Christian, like that's a guy like he's 50 years old, and Christian, he
yeah,
seems like one of the most credible there to win it. Let's say, like
they'd
fuck,
have to, unless,
Rusev, he's big mid Carter, right? A big mid Carter. If he wins the belt, say some people might say, "Oh, he's a guy that's should have been WWE champ, so I accept him as champ." Other people, their heads are gonna say, "No, he's just a mid Carter." You know what
you
I
think
mean?
maybe
Like,
Mark Henry might jump in the ring?
ah, oh, he'll jump in the ring, but maybe not for the belt. But like, so like they're gonna have to do that. Adam Page, right? And Adam Page, when he wins, people for Adam Page, they just assume that he's going to be great in the future, see? But maybe he'll be good in 10 years down the road. And WWE, then you'll finally be great or something.
He needs.
You don't,
I think
it
the way
takes
they're booking,
years to develop, see, to become. Look at Drew McIntyre. How long has since he first started in WWE there. Sometimes it takes a long time. McMahon, he said that this guy is going to be a star or whatever. McMahon viewed the star potential in McIntyre, but it took 15 years or whatever to happen fully. You know what I mean? The most
yeah,
credible would be Sting, but he's elderly. That's it. Sting, Christian is credible, and that he wouldn't be credible come to beat Roman Reigns, let's say, but he might be credible to beat Kenny Omega. So who else? Two guys who are old, and say so they're gonna have to go with Adam Page. This, like I said, Adam Page, it's because he's friends with the elite is what people it got people's attention at first. And there's also the idea that he'll eventually become a star. But what happens if he doesn't get there yet? He doesn't reach that star potential, and they give him the belt too early, see? Then it's gonna be a possible disaster, right? You're gonna have a guy that's having okay match as champ, but he's not really credible champ. And
yeah.
like,
I think he needs to go to NXT and then go to WWE and get kind of because I think he's got talent. He's got it. He just the way they're booking him. It's going to him long term.
like
You know.
MJF, say he's a good talker. Is he good enough to be a serious world champ? He's another guy that people say could become a champ, see? But like, I don't know how many people are really gonna watch MJF and say and think that he's so awesome, but they view him as a credible champ because he says "fuck you" in his promo. He's like 5'6", see? Does he really
Yeah.
look like he's tough enough to beat up Randy Orton, MJF, for example? Like, put Randy Orton face to face with MJF, he looks like he could fucking rip him to piece, let's say. MJF looks like a guy in high school compared to fucking Randy Orton or Batista or somebody like this, you know what I mean? So, say MJF might look okay compared to Angelico, but like to be world champion and to be viewed as a real champ, there has to be a certain standard. Like you can't just put the belt on any schmuck because then they're just gonna kill the company, and that's what's eventually gonna do them in. Eventually, they're going to put the belt on the schmuck. Then it goes back to Kenny. Say this time maybe Kenny's a face, so it's different because he's a face this time. But it's already been done style, you know. Then Ambrose regains the belt, but you've already seen it. You've already seen hardcore Ambrose. It's not as exciting, maybe, as when he won it the first time. Then the belt goes on another schmuck. Then Cody Rhodes wins. Oh, you got a Cody run. And then Cody gives the belt to fucking Darby Allin, right? Maybe they push Darby Allin as world champ, and then you have midget skater boy standing there with a title that's bigger than him. Let's see. Then it starts to look like a circus, let's see, and then it's gonna start to kill the viewer and the bad fucking viewership. People are going to see the viewership get lower. They're going to say, you know what? Maybe I don't need to live for this boring garbage. Yippee. Maybe some people are going to say, you know what? I'm going to Japan. Kenny Omega, fuck this. I'm going back to Japan to find myself. And a portion of the audience leaves with Kenny back to Japan or something. You never know. See? But this company is destined to fail. It's just the way
Yeah.
it is. Like, no matter how much money this guy has, he doesn't know how to book a show. Like, he has no fucking. You can't create magic when you're not a magician. It's just the way it is, you know? But it is what it is, Robby. Fuck. Well, there, Robby just disappeared there, but we just went 2.5 hours. I thought we were going to be going live for only about 30 minutes. I was passing out the first 20 minutes of the show there, and I woke up. Now I'm just rambling about wrestling there. But folks, stay tuned there for more live shows in the group, weekly live shows, the Cedric and Robby show, the Wrestling Gods episode 2 with Jerry coming sometime next week. There, different stuff. I'm going to do some vids, just regular single uploads, and here, there. Robby's back. I'm just saying goodbye to the people. They're telling them we're going to have some shows. Malik in the house there. What's up, WJ? What's up, Malik? So basically, we're going to have shows there every week, and check out the fucking the eFed there, the eFed group there. If people join, you don't have to participate. You can just join as a viewer and look at the goofy stuff that happens or whatever there. And you can go check out Robby Battle on YouTube there. Me, myself, I'm retired from YouTube, Robby. The account is closed there. I officially closed it last night there. And it's a new era there, some content in the group or whatever. But subscribe to Robby on YouTube, the one and only Robby Battle there. So you're doing some wrestling content, Robby, now, or
I think I'm gonna do a video about Adam Page because we were talking about him. I think I may do something with Adam Page as my next video because I just hate the way he's being booked. I think a guy needs somebody to try to motivate him to go. I think he could do a lot better than what he's doing. If he got to NXT and got trained properly, I think the guy could be a good wrestler. And
so
just
NXT, you have Triple H, you have Shawn Michaels, you have a lot of the greats backstage telling them what to do. That's it. William
you know,
Regal, that's another man's man that can wrestle. He knows how to wrestle. Let's say he can talk, very good talker. Say these are people that they know how to train wrestlers. They have a lot of knowledge. Tony Khan, he's say just fucking going along with what the young bucks want. Yeah, that's not being a booker. Like, you know what I mean? Real wrestlers, real fucking companies would fucking clean up a lot of the bullshit that they're putting out there. That they wouldn't
oh,
allow Kenny to go out with his fucking parody promos and just making a mockery of wrestling. That stuff would be fucking stopped, let's see. But Tony Khan, like, no matter how much money he has, if he can't fuck like me, say I'm not a good cook, you know what I mean? Even if I had 10 million in the bank, I wouldn't be better at cooking, you know what I mean? It's the same thing for Tony Khan there. So he doesn't know what he's doing, and he's listening to a couple of fucking Japanese circus boys there, Kenny and the Young Bucks, whatever. But it's embarrassing. There, Cody Rhodes with all this weirdo shit, his nightmare family. Like, nobody fucking cares. Like, nobody wants to see Goldust in 2017 with a blue outfit, in 2017, in 2021 with a blue outfit. You know what I mean? He's like 60 years old. Fucking his buddy from his training school, QT Marshall. Nobody wants to see this in real life. Yeah, like
it's horrible.
it's all weird shit that from Cody's mind. Yeah, that's being done on the show, and it's not don't make for good wrestling. You know what I mean? Like Cody Rhodes wishes he was Triple H as much as he hates him. The way that he came on the scene with the sledgehammer breaking the chair or whatever it was, like Cody Rhodes don't have the credibility of Triple H. In what world does Cody Rhodes think he can walk in there and present himself as a Triple H? Let's say, like, in what world is he anything close to Triple H in terms of being in charge and fucking being a credible wrestler? Like, even at his age right now, there, Triple H would fucking beat that little bitch boy in a fight. I bet anything that Triple H could beat him up for real. You know what I mean? In the real fight. Triple H is a real man. You know what I mean? A tough guy, you know, and he's intelligent, you know. Triple H, not only is he, that's why he's good, because not only is he good, but he's intelligent, Triple H. Cody Rhodes isn't like this. It's all ego. It's all weird fucking teenager bullshit and talking about his dog and fucking all weird self-obsessed fucking garbage. Yep, he's just a little fucking weirdo. He tries to sound intelligent, but he's like a fucking annoying pseudo intellect is how he comes off, let's say. Triple H is intelligent for real. Cody, he's not in Triple H's league, let's say. So him showing up, oh, I'm the number 2 guy. I'm like a Triple H. Get the fuck out of here. You're nothing. Just because fucking Tony Khan has a big crush on these fucking little fucking, what are they called? They're the elite there. Just because he fell for their spell and he gave you a job there because he fell for your little bullshit, that don't mean that you're on fucking Triple H's level. Somebody gave you a job there. He fucking put you in that position, but he don't have the fucking credibility for that position. He's the son of a guy that, say, Dusty Rhodes was a world champ. He was a backstage guy, see. He did some backstage stuff, all kind of different roles and stuff. He had a creative mind of wrestling. His dad was like that. Him, see, look at him. Like when Dusty Rhodes was wrestling, did he have his wife on the show? Did Dusty fucking have, his dog on the show and his fucking, say, all his family members out there and his friends that weren't really meant to be on TV, like QT Marshall? Dusty Rhodes didn't have garbage like this, let's say. So I don't get why, like Cody Rhodes, he's the son of a wrestling mind, so maybe he can come up with ideas. And then it's just weirdo fucking ideas that a teenager would come up with, like, I'll go out there with my dog, bro. This is this ideas a teenage guy would do. Like, that's Cody Rhodes, he comes off like that to me, like a show-off guy in high school or something. You know what I mean? Like a fucking pseudo-intellect. I don't view him in any level as a fucking Triple H. Like, Triple H, you'd say McMahon would be on top. The Triple H is underneath. And Cody Rhodes not even on the first step of the ladder. You know what I mean? Like, it's a fucking joke there, but people like to say Triple H got big by being with the boss's daughter. Well, that probably helped, of course, to get in that kind of way. But the reason McMahon let him do that is because he was smart, let's say. He wouldn't just put anybody in charge like this if they're not good. You know what I mean? So Triple H, he was viewed as valuable enough by McMahon to marry his daughter, right? Like McMahon to marry the billionaire's daughter, like he bet she has to, she would need his blessing, you know what I mean? So McMahon gives the blessing to marry Triple H, and then he brings him in as a wrestling mind, potential owner later down the road. There's a reason for it. If he was just a goofball, Triple H, we're going to bring my wife out here and have a match against Shaq. So if that was Triple H's ideas, McMahon wouldn't have put him in charge. You know what I mean? It's because he said Triple H has a good mind for the business. And a lot of wrestlers think this about him, you know?
Yeah.
Cody Rhodes definitely not in Triple H's league there. Not even fucking close. A fucking schmuck and a half compared to Triple H. Fuck. But that's about it there. Go subscribe to Robby Battle's channel, the one and only Robby Battle there. And we're going to have another show coming this week there, possibly talk some wrestling. We're going to see what we watch next week there, and we're going to have ourselves a show, ladies and gentlemen. So any final words, Robby?
I think I've said everything for this episode. I think we're good to go. We'll sign off.
Until next time. Peace.